Set for a start here at Sydney Motorsport Park for the Clubmans. Away they go. Nice start from the inside from both Schreiber and Dick, actually. Dick streaming down there on the inside from third to first, if you don't mind, as they head through turn one.
And there's a selection of entry points, wide or in tight, because they didn't have a look at this as they come down under brakes to climb the hill. And again, it's another late apex corner right there. The lead by a car coming out of there, and then going over the top, and they dip down now in just a moment before they start the traverse around the back, some quick corners before here we are heading towards Corporate Hill on the right hand side of screen here. Quick left-hander there, and then climbing still a little bit before they come round and ultimately come on the run down from Corporate Hill. And what a great bunch of 5 cars out in front there, going really well. Here they are now, just doing the climb, and now the descent. It'll bring them round into a very tight hairpin, a right-hander that'll bring them to the back section of the circuit. And in a sense, Zach, the second part of the straights, because there's a bit of a straight from that hairpin up to turns 10 and 11.
Indeed there is.
And that's where they are now.
Without being the back straight, it kind of technically is, isn't it? So they make their way around. So James Dick's got off to a very nice start here. Cleared out from third to first. And that's the great thing. I know the 300 tonight's a rolling start, but I love the spectacle of a standing start, because if you nail it, you can capitalise.
Well, to me, you get a drag race before you get into the circuit business.
Down the main straight past. Schreiber blasts up the inside of James Dick there to go into position number 1. Leads them through turn 2 on the second lap. Now, of course, for those of you that are new to Sydney Motorsport Park, new to Motor Racing Australia, because of the nature of the race, meaning because of the nature of the circuit, a lot of our events are time certain, so I can't give you lap numbers specifically until we get to the 300. All I can tell you is that this opening race here is 15 minutes.
Top in number 48's been kept very busy there by Barry in 61, who's close behind him, and Robertson in Clubman number 80.
So they make their way through. And for the benefit of those who are watching along at home, you can now follow along for a moment with where your favourite drivers are.
Strung out a little bit at the back because they're
jostling.
That's right, and again, the budget and the experience business comes into this in terms of how quick cars are and their potential race results. But the man in charge at the moment is Schreiber in number 46. Look at the battle for third, fourth, fifth. That's really strong between Barry in 61, Robertson in 80, and Shervington in 25. Big one between those 3 cars.
Indeed it is.
First and second going by, then we get to this battle.
So third, fourth and fifth. It's interesting, the first, well, particularly now that Schreiber's found clear air, he's checked out, he's gone. Look at that, 2.5, 3 seconds easy across the line at the end of lap 2. These Clubman's lapping around about the 1 minute 41 mark as far as Schreiber's concerned, and he's extended his lead out to 3.2 seconds over Dick, Barry, Robertson, Shervington, and McBride in 6th position there at the moment. Third, fourth and fifth, if they can try and latch onto the back of James Dick here, we'll have a 4-way fight, but at the moment it's just 3, and Robertson is trying to find a way by.
He's in the middle of the sandwich, isn't he? He's the filling.
He was trying to find a way past Barry, but at the same time trying to defend Shervington. He didn't know where to go.
Yeah, Robertson's in number 80.
It's great to have you with us wherever you're tuning in this Saturday, of course, on the platforms of Clubman TV, be it via Facebook or YouTube. Feel free to send us some feedback, send us some comments, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know what you're most looking forward to tonight. Also, let us know who your tip is for the big one, the 300, the Sydney 300, the second running of this signature event of the Motor Racing Australia season, and all squeezed into one day. I'm going to talk about the pressures of that a little bit later on as they make their way through corporate one more time.
Robertson's orange machine in the middle of that sandwich, battling over third, fourth and fifth place, just called a Clubman. He doesn't call it a PRB, so obviously it isn't. But there's quite a number of PRBs, in fact 6 of them in the event.
And that Westfield is being run by David Thirlwall at the moment as well, who's sitting down there in position number 7. So around they come onto the main straight. We're only about halfway through this race. 8 minutes down, 7 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. So at this point in time, it's looking like 4, maybe possibly 5 laps between us and the
following Robertson is Shervington in number 25. Good battle here, and they being headed by Barry in 3rd place in 61.
PRB Clubman's duking it out there, 3rd, 4th and 5th. And of course, just general Clubman's throughout the field, as Will was alluding to a moment ago, even the Westfield as well. So a good variety, and that's the spice of life here at this race.
And as I say, very low, simple cars. In fact, in the early Lotus 6s and even the Lotus 7, you could buy the kit of parts and put it together yourself. And then Lotus would check it out for you in England. And that brought down the cost enormously of doing these machines. But so, very small engines, sometimes only 1100 cc's and then going out to 1600, but in a very light thing with low frontal area, and gave them tremendous performance and very low running costs and made them very competitive, interesting race cars.
Auto Action Zone, Blendline Zone. Gary O'Brien will also be featuring in the broadcast booth throughout the course of the day. He's just walked in behind us here, watching on at Sydney Motorsport Park. And just to go off the back of something we were saying there before this race started, if you're sitting at home thinking, geez, I could get comfortable with this, if you're in the Sydney area, don't get comfortable on the couch. Come out to the racetrack. Come and be a part of this, because it's free entry. And those queues that we were talking about at 6:25 this morning, they have died down significantly. But the race out of here is going to be just as fun.
Striper having an easy run out in front
Absolutely.
on 45 from pole position, ahead of this battle that's now become a 4-way battle. In behind him for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place.
5.7 the margin at the moment. It'll extend out past that. Move here further back. That's, of course, Robinson and Shervington duking it out. And Robinson and Shervington, I believe, swapping positions there as they make their way through turn 1. So the 25 gets ahead of the 49 there. No, I had that the wrong way around. It's the 25 getting ahead of the 80. And now the 80 back ahead of the 25 as they come into turn 2.
Yeah,
so
Robertson's going backwards a little bit in that group. He was in the middle of a 3-way battle, and he's now towards the tail end of a 4-way battle. And with immediately behind him, number 25.
So they go. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. 7.8 seconds behind the leader, but then only 1.2 separating that 4. It's almost like watching the Excels, and they're, of course, coming up next.
Sydney Motorsport Park, the home not only of some Motorcycle World Championship Grand Prix, but A1 international races held here
2006,
at Sydney
I think, was the first one.
Park.
And on that, of course, the circuit was slightly reconfigured in 2012 when they extended the full layout to 4.5 kilometres with the Brabham circuit. It went from 3.93 kilometres to 3.905, the Gardner circuit, because they reconfigured turns 6 and 7 into what we now know as just simply turn 6. And mixed opinion as to whether that reconfiguration was a good or a bad thing, but obviously it was put in place for the sake of the full extension onto the 4.5 kilometre circuit, which will be used at the next Blendline TV broadcast of Motor Racing Australia, Saturday, July 10.
So 5 laps completed now, out on their 6th lap in this 15-minute race.
They may sneak a 3rd lap in, but at this stage it could be just 2 to go.
Robertson back there in 4th place. Immediately in front of him, 3rd and 2nd. In 3rd place and 61 is Barry. And heading him is Dick in number 48.
So Schreiber is checked out. So normally we'd give you a shot of the race leader, but he's that far out in front, it's just a Saturday cruise for him at the moment. And as long as nothing fails him, mechanically speaking, he will finish this race a clear winner. Oh, geez, that was close. Shervington just throwing it over the runoff area there on the exit of turn 6, or 5, I should say, as they come down towards turn 7.
He's really being pressed for pace here by the closest of the cars in behind him. Stuart Shervington in 25, but here we see Ivan Schreiber looking very strong. Number 45, pole position. An enormous, very, very comfortable lead as he comes round now towards the main straight and towards the start-finish line in this 15-minute race that has 1 minute 53 seconds remaining. So they've been racing for just over 13 minutes, so they'll get in another lap. And this battle continuing for the minor placings. A really good one, but with at the head of that group of vehicles is James Dick. He's in car number 48, ahead of Robertson in number 80. That's Graham Robertson, and there he is. And he's been closely followed by 61 at the hands of Christopher Barry, another of the PRB club.
Just getting word in my ear too, Will, that we'll go checkered flag this time by. So even though there'll be maybe 12, 11 seconds left on the clock, they won't stretch it out another lap. Of course, the race running a few minutes, well, the schedule running a few minutes behind because of a couple of red flags during qualifying this morning. So if they can shave a couple of seconds here and there, save a couple of minutes in the long run, we are a little bit time critical with 10:30 being the cut-off here this evening, and everything therefore needs to fall into place just nicely.
James Dick is going well in second place, and Robertson has clambered forward back into third place. Graham Robertson in number 80. But here the race leader heading around on his final lap, that's Ivan Schreiber in number 45. Look how low they are, really almost like a single-seater race car, but with mudguards and with 2 seats and a little roll cage above. And very lightweight, as I say, which is why they're so quick and offered such good competitive motorsport over so many years. And the checkered flag greets him at the end of 6 laps. In fact, 7 laps, sorry, for Ivan Schreiber. And then the battle on. James Dick coming home into second place, number 48, with Graham Robertson into third place in number 80, very close to him as they went across the finishing line. Shervington came up into fourth place in number 25. That's Stuart Shervington. He had a bit of a moment earlier on, but followed home then in number 61 by Christopher Barry.
So, another cracking race here at Sydney Motorsport Park. The first of 3 for the Clubmans today. We've got the Series X3 New South Wales Championship coming out for the first race of their 3rd round very, very shortly. And of course then, second practice for the feature of the season, the Sydney 300 League 2 of the Australian 1000. And we cannot wait for that to get underway here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Loving the feedback on social media. A lot of people commenting already. A very good morning to you, Ash Yates. Flashbacks of memories as a kid listening to Will commentate Bathurst and Australian touring car racing. Very cool. And I think there's a lot of sentiments that reflect how thrilled we are that you're back here, mate, because you were a highlight among some of our older races here back in 2019, because their first memories, what drew them into motorsport through the Australian Touring Car Championship, had your soundtrack all over it.
I haven't been around for long. I only did my first meeting as a pro. Well, not as a pro, as an amateur, because I wasn't being paid in 1965 at Catalina Park, Katoomba. But I did get paid that year for Channel 7 at Bathurst.